Yes, Anne Frank will tell us like why will she decide to write a diary? What will be in her mind that she will decide to put her thoughts in her diary? So she'll make it very clear that it's not that she didn't have anyone in her life. She had a very loving and affectionate family comprising of her parents and an elder sister. Then she had many people whom she could call as friends. But there was something in Anne Frank that she did. She was not comfortable in sharing her secrets with anyone. She could not confide in anyone. She could not tell her secrets to anyone. So that was her problem. So the problem in her life was that she didn't have a friend whom she could call as a true friend. So that's why she found that true friend in diary, and she called that diary as Kitty, right? So let me put it more clearly, since no one will believe that a 13-year-old girl is completely alone in the world. And I'm not. I have loving parents and a 16-year-old sister, and there are about 30 people I can call friends. So I have a family, loving aunts, and a good home. No, on the surface, I seem to have everything except my one true friend. All I think about when I'm with friends is having a good time. I can't bring myself to talk about anything but ordinary everyday things. So when she says that she has got many people as her friends, but there is one thing that when it comes to her friendship, then with them she cannot talk about anything, which is of some value or of some essence. Those people whom she call as her friends, she can only talk about the routine matters. She cannot talk about the things which are in her heart, right? So we don't seem to be able to get any closer, and that's my problem. So we don't seem to be able to get any closer. What does she want to say here? That she cannot come that close to anyone with whom she can share her secrets. Maybe it's my fault that we don't confide in each other. So she says that maybe it's my fault. It's not that if you are not able to confide in somebody, it's not that it's the fault of the other person. Okay, it is our own, you can say it's our own nature, and there is nothing wrong about it. If sometimes some people say that I cannot rely upon him or her, okay, and it's not that we have to blame that person for it. We should blame ourselves only for it. And point is, it's not our mistake, it's not our drawback, it's our nature. And most of the times the very intelligent people rarely rely upon others, mind it. Okay, the most intelligent people, they know whom to confide in. Okay, you might have seen in your class also, like the most intelligent children, they confide in their own parents only. They confide, they share their most valuable secrets with only their parents. They don't rely upon anyone, no, not even a single friend. And it's not a mistake, it's rather a strength, because they know, because they are intelligent, and they know like who is the best person with whom they should share their secrets. And no one else than parents can be the best person with whom you can share your secrets. Okay, people are people, maybe they are your friends. So it's okay that friends are many a times able to sort out our troubles or difficulties, that yes, friends are there, but when it comes to the real secrets, then we should be very careful. And this Anne Frank, she was never ever comfortable in sharing her secrets with anyone, right? So she says like it's maybe it's my fault that we don't confide in each other. In any case, that's just how things are. And unfortunately, they are not liable to change. This is why I have started the diary. So because she cannot change her habit of not relying upon anyone, so she has started writing diary. To enhance the image of this long awaited friend in my imagination, I don't want to jot down the facts in this diary the way most people would do. So To enhance the image of this long awaited friend in my imagination. Who is this long awaited friend, children? Who is this long awaited friend? You can give answer. Who is this long awaited friend? Yes, Chayank, it's a diary. Harshpreet and all, they're all right. Yes, it is diary. Correct answer. Prabgun, Harshdeep, Harshin, yes. Yes, this is diary. Yes, Garima, correct. So the long awaited friend, so because she had been like thinking about diary as a friend and she wanted to enhance her image as the best friend. So she decided not to write very mundane or dumb things in the diary the way other people do. She said like in this diary the way, but I want the diary to be my best friend and I'm going to call this friend diary. So how did she first of all enhance the image of her long awaited friend? By giving it a name first of all. She gave it a name called Kitty. Now there are questions. What makes writing in a diary a strange experience for Annie Frank? So what makes writing in a diary a strange experience for her? Number one, she had, you people tell me, yesterday we read out in that page. So she was a little hesitant in the beginning about writing a diary. What were the reasons? Okay, who will raise hand? Raise hands those who know the answer. Come on. Come on, children. Yes, raise hand those who know the answer. So here are the questions in front of you. What makes writing in a diary a strange experience for Anne Frank? Later on, she decides to put in something not ordinary like the other people do. But in the beginning, she was a little hesitant about writing diary. What were the reasons that she was a little hesitant? Yes, what happened? Come on, raise hands. Those who know the answer. The answer is here. Yes. Come on. Shayank has written. Shayank, raise hand and speak up the answer. Shayank says that she had not written anything like this before and she thought that no one would be interested in the musings of a 13-year-old girl. Okay, anyone else? Yes, come on. So here it is. So writing in a diary is really strange experience for someone like me, not only because I've never written anything before, but also because it seems to me that later on neither I nor anyone else would be able to understand or would be interested in the musings of a 13-year-old girl. So that is it. So well done, Chayank. So why does Anne want to keep a diary? So what's the point for that? Why does she want to keep a diary? Yes, Harshdeep, that she had no true friends, but have loving parents. But the point is that why she wanted to keep a diary, because despite the fact like she had a very loving and affectionate family and about a big list of friends, people with whom she could call as friends, but could not confide in with anyone. Could not confide. She could not share her secrets with anyone. That was her mistake. Not mistake, that was her nature. So she could not, her temperament was not to share her own secrets with anyone. So she had to maintain a diary. Yes, Harshin, she thought that paper has more patience than people. Yes, correct. Yes, Harshdeep, as she had no true friends but have loving parents. So it's not about like she could not share her secrets with her parents, but she could not share her secrets with even parents. right? So she knew this, that paper has more patience than people, and moreover, she could not share her secrets with anyone. So Garima says because she feels that the paper has more capacity to absorb thoughts than the people who have low patience level. That's the same thing. So yes. Why did Anne think she could confide more in her diary than in people? So why did she think like this? That she could confide more in her diary than in the people? Okay, this is the same thing, like she has more patience because she thinks the diary has more patience. Okay, why does she think that she could confide more in her diary than in people? Yes, come on. Yes, paper has more patience than people because the diary would listen to her problems, because she believes the diary has more patience. Yes, she feels that the paper has more capacity, the same thing. So that is, so all these very things would come up. Anyone else? So why did she think that she could confide more in diary than in people? So Dhavnesh says she can easily write her thoughts and ideas. Okay. She can, okay. Anyone else? Sayank says for her, the diary was not only a bunch of pages, but a real friend. That's true. So for her, the diary was not only a bunch of pages. It was just not a non-living entity, but it was a true friend whom she even called as Kitty. Okay. Yes, Prabgun says that she can openly confess herself to the diary without any hesitation. Yes. Then this Arsheen, I guess, says she can express what's going inside. Yes. Okay. So yes, you all are correct, children. So together with all these ideas, what is the crux of the answer? Like a diary, because her basic idea was that paper has more patience than people, and secondly, diary, she considered diary as one of her best friends and even called it as Kitty, and could expose or express herself more clearly without any hesitation than what she could do to her friends. She could not rely upon her friends. Okay. Since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty if I were to plunge right in. Since no one would understand a word of my stories to Kitty if I were to plunge right in. What is to plunge right in? Like if she would start writing the diary as it is. Suppose you start writing the diary today, and you start writing uh, what happens today, or you start writing the things from today's perspective. Then if someone else will pick up your diary, that person would not come to know like what actually you're talking about. So what she is saying, like if somebody picks up my diary and would like to know what I'm writing, then he will not be able to understand anything unless and until I give a background to this day. So I would better provide a brief sketch of my life, much as I dislike doing so. So though she did never liked to write something about herself, but because she knew that if she would not do this, then no one will be able to understand the meaning of what she would write in the diary from today onwards. My father, the most adorable father I've ever seen, didn't marry my mother until he was 36 and she was 25. So now Anne Frank has decided to give a brief character sketch, give a brief sketch of her life. She starts with the father, the one whom she considers as the most adorable one in the world. Like he married at the age of 36 to his mother, who was at the time 25. My sister Margot was born in Frankfurt in Germany in 1926. I was born on 12th June 1929. So her sister Margot was born in 1926 and she on 1929. I lived in Frankfurt until I was 4. My father emigrated to Holland in 1933. My mother, Edith Hollander Frank, went with him to Holland in September while Margot and I were to send to Aachen to stay with our grandmother. So children, this both sisters, Margot and Anne, they stayed in Frankfurt until Anne Frank was 4 years of age. Then their parents migrated to Holland, and these girls were sent to Aachen to live with grandmother for the time being. Okay, when the parents would get some time to settle in Holland, these girls were sent to live with grandmother in Aachen. Okay, so Margot went to Holland in December and I followed in February when I was plunked down on the table as a birthday present for Margot. So then first Margot was sent to Holland to join parents. Then afterwards, Anne was also sent to Holland to join her parents and her sister. So she was kept along with Margot to as if she were a birthday gift for her sister. Got it? I started right away at the Montessori Nursery School. So then Anne Frank was and admitted in a nursery school, Montessori Nursery School. I stayed there until I was 6, at which time I started in the first form. So she was there in that Montessori school for about 6 years. So by the time she was in first form, in the 6th form, my teacher was Mrs. Cuperus, the headmistress. At the end of the year, we were both in tears as we said a heartbreaking farewell. So the headmistress, Mrs. Cuperus, she was a teacher also. So this was the person, this was the teacher with whom Anne Frank was greatly attached. And that teacher as well as Anne Frank, they really, had a heartbreaking farewell after 6 years of stay in the Montessori Nursery School. Got it? So when she spent about 6 years in this Montessori Nursery School, and here she had fond memories of her teacher, come headmistress called Mrs. Cuperus. Got it? In the summer of 1941, grandma fell ill and had to have an operation. So my birthday passed with a little celebration. Got it? So in 1941, when grandmother was operated upon, then during that very time, her birthday might have come up and her birthday was not marked with any special celebration because her mother might have undergone an operation at that time. So grandma died in January 1942. No one knows how often I think of her and still love her. So this birthday celebration in 1942 was intended to make up for the other. What is to make up for? To compensate for the loss. Okay, what is make up for? When you compensate for some loss. So here she says that in 1942, the birthday celebration was there to compensate for the previous birthday when her birthday was not celebrated. Got it? And grandma's candle was lit along with the rest. So when her birthday was being celebrated in 1942, then one candle to give a tribute to grandmother was also lit along with the rest of the candles in her birthday. The four of us are still doing well, and that brings me to the present date of 20th June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. So four of us are still doing well. So we are still all fine. Who are four? Parents, sister, and she. Okay, grandmother has already expired, and she says that we are all doing well till the present date of 20th June 1942 and the solemn dedication of my diary. Got it? So here we have read about, because she decided to give a little description of her family, of her life, so that people could, if somebody would pick up her diary, then that person would be able to make some head or tail of what she had written in the diary, though she never wanted to write like this. Got it? So why does Anne provide a brief sketch of her life? Yes, this is what we have discussed right now. So why does she give a brief sketch of her life? So that anyone who picks up her diary would come to know what she has written about, so that one would make out the head and tail of what she has written in her diary, though she never wanted to write like this. Second is, what tells you that Anne loved her grandmother? Who will give the answer? What tells you that she loved her grandmother a lot? What tells you that she loved her grandmother a lot? Come on. Simmerleen will give the answer. Unmute yourself, beta. Simmerleen. Instantly give the answer, otherwise your name will come as being inattentive students. Point is not that you know the answer or not. Simmerleen. Simmerleen. Okay. Prabgun, raise hand. Prabgun, raise hand. Prabgun, raise hand. Okay. Yes, Prabgun, give the answer.
Yes, ma'am. Can you please repeat the question?
Just a minute. So what tells you that Anne loved her grandmother?
Just a minute.
What tells you that Anne loves her grandmother? It's there in front of us. Grandma died in January 1942. No one knows how often I think of her and still love her. This birthday celebration in 42 was intended to make up for the other, and grandma's candle was lit along with the rest. So from here, we are to frame our answer. Like, what tells you that Anne loved her grandmother? Yes, Prabgun. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, her Anne's grandma fell ill, she had an operation, so her birthday passed with a little celebration. And when she died, she wanted her birthday celebration, and when it was intended to make up for the other, she also made her parents to lit grandma's candle along with her.
It's okay. Very good answer. So now listen, children. So what tells us that she loved her grandmother? So Anne Frank admits in the diary that she loved her grandmother so much that she would often think about her and still loved her even when she was no more. Okay. So when she says that no one knows how often I think of her, it means that she loved her. So she tells us, she confesses in the diary that she often thought about her grandmother and still loved her even when she was no more. And moreover, after the death of her mother, when her birthday came, then even then she made her parents lit up a candle for her grandmother. So that is a clear evidence that she loved her grandmother a lot. She could not even forget her, even when she was no more. Okay, children, time is almost over. So dearest Kitty, one more reference now. 2 more pages are left. Tomorrow we'll finish it off. Okay. So do these questions which we are discussing side by side, right? Okay. Yes. It's okay, beta.